Okay, LinkedIn, everyone on LinkedIn? Everyone should be on LinkedIn. Everyone should, no matter what you do, in this room should be on LinkedIn. Okay, you guys know what it is? 65 million members. There's a new member every second, and executives from every one of the Fortune 500 companies is on LinkedIn. Top 5 tips. Complete your profile. I love that LinkedIn tells you what percentage complete you are. Gives you a target. You're like, okay, good, I'm 95. You want to use all 3 website links in your profile. You're allowed to put 3 websites on your profile. Use them. I had a client who we put their website and then their newsletter sign-up link, and then I said, what's the most active part of your site? And there was a book an appointment. So we put their book an appointment link right there. Right? So there's other things. Put people into your site where you want them to go. Use a professional photo. Jeff left. That was for Jeff. I don't want a picture of you with your dog on LinkedIn, right? Use a professional photo. Okay, and please put a photo, because that way people know if it's really you or not. You want to connect to people you trust. The value that you offer LinkedIn is the quality of your network, so you probably know people that have 500 connections on LinkedIn or more. The problem is that sociological studies, even before social networking and after social networking, found the same thing, which is you cannot have more than 120, as a person, 120 to 150 personal connections. So if I want to meet Anthony with Cox Communications, and I don't know him, but I am connected to Susan, and I go to Susan and I see that Susan knows Anthony, then I might call Susan and go, how do you know Anthony? I've been trying to get in touch with him. But if Susan has 500 connections and Anthony's one of them, maybe she doesn't really know it, right? But if Bev has 150 connections and Anthony's one of them, I'm more likely to call Bev. Does that make sense? And whenever that, you guys know in business, whenever that kind of thing happens, I need to talk to Anthony about something. Somehow Bev's going to connect us. Somehow Anthony's going to remember somebody that needs Bev's services. You know, it always just works out like that. So the assumption on LinkedIn is if you're connected to someone that you would recommend them. So just, if you know everybody, don't connect to them. I got rid of all my personal friends on LinkedIn because I love you, but I don't know what kind of work you do. And customize the invitation. I get invitations all the time. I run a women's networking luncheon in Great Falls, so I think that's how sometimes people find me, and they just send me that blanket link to, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. So you can customize it. And if it's somebody like Anthony's a good example. I sent you one, right? Like within the past couple weeks. And we have a joke that we don't have one-on-ones. We're going to have a wine-on-one. So I'm like, hey, when are you having that wine-on-one? I mean, it doesn't have to be like, I really like to get to, you know, just so that we know that you know that person, right? You want to give and get recommendations. The great thing about LinkedIn recommendations is that Anoop and I have to both be connected for Anoop to tell you all how great I am. He's going to write that in, and then I have to approve it. So any recommendations you see on LinkedIn are actual recommendations, as opposed to the fact that I could get online right now and write, Anoop Mitra thinks Laura Poindexter is the best speaker ever, and he may never even know that I wrote that. Okay, now with your, there's a status update now on LinkedIn, 5 minutes. Okay, that's all right, we can do that. You want to share business news and updates, not personal information? It's LinkedIn. I don't care if you're doing laundry. And some people just have it set up that it goes to their personal Facebook, their LinkedIn, LinkedIn, it's business, right? The other thing is if you're tweeting, anybody in here tweeting, using Twitter? Don't auto-post your Twitter updates to LinkedIn, especially if you're using hashtags. 70% of the people on LinkedIn are not on Twitter. They don't understand. They don't understand what the hashtags are. They don't understand what the @ it's all gibberish to them. You're just confusing your network. Remember, LinkedIn is your network. Twitter, 500 people follow me on Twitter. I don't know who they are, right? Okay, you want to read the profile of potential clients or partners before your next meeting. So I've never met Claudette. It's not true. When I met Claudette, we're having a meeting. I'm going to go on LinkedIn and see if there's something I can find out about her. Start the conversation, right? Instead of just going, so hi, what do you do? Okay, Twitter. There's only 3 people tweeting. We can go fast. 190 million users, 50 million tweets a day. It's very keyword driven. It started out as a glorified status update. What are you doing right now? And it's become an easy way to share interesting links, a lot of bloggers, a lot of information People who share information, business professionals share lots of links on Twitter. You can reduce repeated customer service calls by keeping the audience informed. Think about this in your business, and I have to give you an example so you can. Last year, I have a 4-year-old. The flu shots were scarce, and he needs a particular type of flu shot because he has asthma. So my pediatrician said, follow us on Twitter, and every time they got flu shots in, they just posted on Twitter. I had that go to my cell phone, so I was getting a text message whenever they got flu shots in. Now, I haven't asked them, and I'm sure they didn't track it. The number of calls, certainly there were moms who weren't on Twitter, but the number of calls in their office, it was 3 months before I got his flu shot. So all that time, I would have been calling every week. Do you have a flu shot? And then when they got it, I got an appointment I knew I would get in. You know, I wouldn't call and they'd go, oh, we had 200 and they're gone. So think about why people call you, and is there some way you can use Twitter to reduce customer service calls, keep people informed. Only 10% of your tweets should be promotional. You should try to tweet 3 times a week during business hours. They can be scheduled. Keep tweets to 120 characters or less. You get 140, but you want to allow room for the retweet. Focus on using relevant keywords in your tweet. And Bev, you're my new example. I used you in my seminar the other day. Bev's with Exhibit Edge. They do trade show stuff, but she wouldn't use exhibit or exhibitionist in her tweet. She would be getting followers she does not want. And use Twitter to listen to what people are saying about your company, brand, or industry. Again, it's keyword driven, so you can search and see what people are saying, what's going on. Okay, YouTube, it's the #2 search engine behind Google. #2 search engine behind Google. 1 billion videos served per day, and online video is where we see content growth. So how to use YouTube for your business? You have anything to show? It doesn't have to be you, right? Do you have product demonstrations? Client testimonials are great if you're camera shy. And video does not have to be live action. You can do screencasts. You can show a PowerPoint presentation with a voiceover. I have clients that I use animation. You want to keep them under 5 minutes. You can optimize your content, not your video itself, but with the description, the tags. Again, #2 search engine. You got to know what your keywords are and use your keywords. And brand your YouTube channel embedded on your website, linked to Facebook. If you have a YouTube account, it's not like Facebook where you have to start a page. If you have a YouTube account, your YouTube channel is youtube.com/ whatever your username is. So #1, go register your business username, because you probably have, you know, Anoop likes to drink wine is his username. I don't know, I'm just saying. So you got to go do cruise planners, right? Create a new YouTube account, and you automatically have a channel. You need to brand it. It looks very plain. Okay. Foursquare. Does anyone on Foursquare use Foursquare? Have any idea what I'm talking about? We're going to skip right through that. If you're a retail store, you should be on Foursquare. It's very minimal time. You log on, verify your address. You can post a mayor special or a regular special. Change them as little as monthly, and you can read the handout. Here are some other sharing sites depending on your business that you could use. Again, interconnectivity, Flickr and PhotoBucket are photo sharing sites. Slideshare.net is for presentations. Someone like me does lots of presentations. I can create ones that are public on slideshare.net. Those numbers are where they are in the worldwide. Remember we said the top 20 sites? That's what those numbers are. And then there are some local networks. Again, if you have time to participate, you want to participate, but there's one called Inside703.com. It's part of Ning. Ning.com lets you create your own social network. So we could actually create a Dulles Chamber social network, where we won't, but we could. We got to get you guys on just on the big ones first. So next steps. If you're a business owner, choose one platform to start with. If you have a Facebook fan page, you've already registered your Twitter account, fine. Focus on Facebook if that's what's appropriate for you. Just have it auto-post to Twitter for a while. So you don't want to lose Twitter, but don't try to do both. Just focus on one. Publicize it everywhere. Right? I don't know you're on Facebook if you don't tell me. And become part of the conversation. I would also say, especially anyone in here who's not a business owner that's working for a bigger company, complete that LinkedIn profile. That should be your first course of action. How'd I do on time? Okay. All right.